Wow, Melania Trump is now looking to profit from Donald Trump. Efforts to bury his disturbing history, his troubling ties to Jeffrey Epstein, and his ongoing attempts to suppress the Epstein list and related files. So, what do I mean by cashing in? Let's explain. Yesterday, Melania Trump promoted her book Melania by posting an excerpt titled How I Met Donald Trump. On the surface, it might seem like a harmless throwback, but the details raise serious concern. The timing is especially troubling, as it appears she attempted to profit of Donald Trump's effort to conceal his disturbing connection to Jeffrey Epstein and suppress the Epstein list and related files. Since Melania has volunteered this chapter, it's worth taking a closer look, not just at the story she's telling, but at some the inconsistencies in her own background. For example, Melania has a middle made misleading claims about her education, falsely stating she attended universities she never actually graduated from. There are also long-standing questions about her early life in Slovenia and how she came to the USA. In the excerpt, she shared Melania describes meeting Trump in 1998 at Manhattan's Kit Kat Club, a place that's been linked to wealthy men mingling with young Eastern Europe women. One key figure after associated with this scene is Paolo Zempoli, a modeling agency owner with close ties to Trump. When you connect the dots, it paints a picture that's more disturbing than romantic. Paolo Zempoli, a modeling agent known for recruiting young Eastern Europe women, would host parties at Manhattan infamous Kit Kat Club, an elite nightlife spot where powerful men mingled with aspiring models. Donald Trump was a regular at these gatherings, and it was at one such event that he met Melania. According to her own account in the chapter she recently promoted, Trump arrived at the club that night accompanied by another young woman but left his number for Melania. The context surrounding this meeting is unsettling. This was during the late 1990s, the same period when Trump was closely associated with Jeffrey Epstein. It was time when Epstein and Trump were often seen together, which Ghislaine Maxwell reportedly helped to connect Trump and other influential men with young women. A 1997 report in the London Sunday Mirror, published before the full scope of Epstein crime came to light, described Maxwell as kind of madam, known for introducing young, attractive women to powerful businessmen like Trump. Given all of this, Melania version of events, paired with historical backdrop, raises serious question about the true nature of Trump's social circle at the time and how deeply intertwined they may have been with Epstein and Maxwell disturbing network. Take a look at some of photos of Melania from her time in Slovenia. Here she is captured in a few early modeling shots. Now let's shift focus to another part of her background that's often overlooked. Her fabricated college degree. Remember that story? CBS reported on it back on July 29, 2016. Melania Trump's personal website was taken offline after it was revealed that her claim of holding a college degree was false. The site, which previously stated she had earned a degree, now retracts visitor to the Trump Organization homepage. The Huffington Post was the first to report the website disappearance on a Wednesday. That same day, Melania tweeted that the site, originally created in 2012, was removed because it does not accurately reflect my current business and professional interest, or perhaps more accurately, because the degree claim was false and misleading. Melania Trump's website had falsely claimed she earned a college degree before becoming a skincare entrepreneur and philanthropist. CBS News confirmed during the 2016 Republican National Convention in Cleveland that her claim of receiving a degree in design and architecture from University in Pennsylvania was untrue. Despite the convention program stating after obtaining a degree in design and architecture at the University of Pennsylvania, Melania was getting between photo shot in Paris and Milan. Finally sitting in New York in 1996. Official university records show no evidence of her graduating with such a degree. Adding to the controversy, Melania's speech at convention was widely criticized for plagiarizing large portion of Michelle Obama's earlier address. All of these cast additional suspension on her narrative, especially as she recounts how she met Donald Trump during very period he was reportedly extremely close with Jeffrey Epstein. It was a Friday night in September 1998. I had just returned from fast trip to Paris and was settling into my New York City apartment when the phone rang. It was a friend inviting me to party at the Kit Kat Club the next evening. My boyfriend's throwing it. She said, "Please come. We have not seen each other in ages. I just got back from Paris too. It will be fun. Lot of people will be there. We will pick you up." I was tired and jet lagged. The idea of spending the weekend reconnecting with friends was tempting. I have always been thoughtful about where I spend my time and who I spend it with. A late night party at a Manhattan club would not normally be at the top of my list for a Saturday, but I decided to go. At the time, Melania was actively modeling and has nice share nude photos shots from this era, adding further context to scene she described. You have spoken openly about how much you enjoy your nude modeling career. Right now, Russian state media has been circulating many of those images, and to be clear, these were not the kind of nude photo typically featured in high fashion and artistic publication. These were more in line with adult oriented material, the kind of magazine with a very different audience, if you catch my drift. She continues saying she did not want to miss out on social events, so she accepted the invitation anyway, because after all, it was Fashion Week, supposedly a time for glamour and sophistication. But let's be real, everything she says sounds like carefully packed glove. She claims she was genuinely excited to mingle with industry insider and trendsetters. But the whole thing feels more like a script PR fantasy than the truth. As I stepped into the sleek black limo with my friend, I felt like a celebrity on the way to a glamorous gala. When we arrived at Kit Kat Club, the lights were flashing and the crowd was buzzing with energy. But let's be honest, the Kit Kat Club was not some elegant high society event. It had more of a seedy underground vibe than the upscale glamour she's trying to sell. Inside the dimly lit club was packed with model, photographer, editor, and designers, typically for a fashion week Saturday night. I made my way upstairs to VIP section where I settled at a table. The mood was lively though far from the sophistication and camaraderie she tries to paint. It was more of character party scene than anything refined. Some gets dancing while other chatter with over noise. My friend waved to someone behind me, and when I turned I saw a man walking over with a blonde woman. Hi, I am Donald Trump, he said, reaching out to shake my hand. Nice to meet you. I recognized the name. He was either a businessman or a celebrity. Though I did not know much else. I am Melania, I replied. He looked intrigued and immediately sat down next to me, starting up a conversation. He asked about my time in New York, my background in Slovenia, and my travels. It was brief interaction, but it left a mark. Of course, he was already with another woman that night, so I walked out, exchanged up to small talk at a noisy industry party. But I had to admit, I found him charming and personable. That was the beginning. She would date him, receive an Einstein visa in 2001, and marry him soon after. With that visa process moving unusually fast, and that's where Simon Rosenberg report from 2016 to 2017 becomes particularly relevant. Simon Rosenberg analysis at the time pointed to a newly released Associated Press report that seriously undercut the narrative Melania Trump and her husband had promoted for years about her immigration story. According to the AP, official documents revealed that Melania was paid for 10 modeling jobs between September 10 and October 15, a period when her visa status permitted her to be in the US and look for work, but not to actually do paid work. These records strongly suggest that she was working in violation of her visa restriction. In other words, he carefully curated stories she and Donald Trump repeated over and over about her legal immigration journey appeared to be a fabrication, just like her speech at the Republican National Convention, which was famously plagiarized from Michelle Obama. There has never been any evidence, no documents or record, provided by Trump world to confirm that Melania Trump had a valid work visa before obtaining her green card in 2001. Her on camera claimed that she had to return to her home country every few months to have her visa stamped do not align with any USA work visa protocol. In fact, her account sounds more like someone working on tourist visa, something that not uncommon among model but is clearly not legal. If Melania misrepresented her immigration history on her green card or citizenship application, that could amount to serious immigration violation. These are very types of offense that Donald Trump has aggressively targeted in his policies toward other immigrants. The Washington Post article provides a clear and a compelling breakdown of why Melania Trump account of her early work in USA does not hold up under scrutiny. Green card controversy. Unanswered questions continue to swirl around how Melania Trump obtain her green card. A Trump family attorney once stated in a unveiled interview that she received it through marriage. Yet, in a letter now discredited by Associated Press, Melania claimed she was granted an extraordinary ability green card, often referred to as the Einstein visa. Most immigration experts find that the claim highly questionable, given that Melania was not widely recognized as an elite model by industry standard. In light of conflicting narratives and a lack of documentation, it remains reasonable to assume, pending proof otherwise, that she likely received her green card through marriage. This conclusion is further supported by the fact that her own legal team ruled out other plausible visa categories. If she had genuinely received an Einstein visa, a distinction typically reserved for individuals with Nobel Prize or similar global achievements, it would be odd that neither she nor Donald Trump ever publicly boasted about it, especially considering Trump's tendency to highlight personal accolades. To add to the intrigue, during 2016 campaign, Trump compromised to hold press conference with Melania to clarify her immigration history. That press conference never happened. Here's the clip of him making that promise.
They said my wife Melania might have come in illegally. Can you believe that one? No, no, no. They said headlines. Maybe she came in illegally. Maybe. Let me tell you one thing. She has got it so documented. So she's going to have a little news conference over the next couple of weeks. That's good. That's good. I love it. I love it. They said Melania Trump may have come into our country illegally. And how would that be for Donald Trump to be talking? Here's the only problem. She came in totally legally. I mean, so it's one of those things. All right, but you'll see it in a little while. I said to her, no, let it simmer for a little while. Let them go wild, let it simmer, and then let's have a little news conference and have some.
Melania Trump never publicly clarified the detail of her green card process. She eventually married Donald Trump and later sponsored her family to immigrate to the United States. As noted earlier, she and Trump reportedly met at Kit Kat Gala, with modeling agent Klaus Zampoli alleged playing a role in accelerating her visa process. Recently, Melania sold the right to her life story, much of which centers around that narrative. While it's unclear who the target audience for such a documentary might be, it added to a growing list of ventures throwing, which Melania has profited. Many of them connected directly and indirectly to her husband's political brand and affiliated PACS. Melania Trump's personal team, including her stylists and hairdressers, reportedly received tens of thousands of dollars per month, founded by Trump supporters. In addition, she secured lucrative speaking fee, often in six-figure range, for appearance at Trump-affiliated events. When it came to media interview, she allegedly insisted on being paid, such as the time she demanded 2,50,000 from CNN for an appearance. I do not believe that ever happened. If they truly wanted to hear her speak, they likely would not have agreed to that kind of demand. And speaking of public appearance, here is a clear example. Melania blatantly plagiarizing Michelle Obama conversation speech. Let's take a look at the movement right now.
The values that you work hard for what you want in life.
For what you want in life.
That your word is your bond.
That you do what you say you're going to do.
Keep your promise.
That you treat people
That you treat people
with dignity and respect, because we want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
Credit where it's due. Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Croft raised important question about Melania's background. Let's take a look at the clip.
And since we're talking about integrity, I'm confused as to why my Republican colleagues aren't talking about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's family's visas. Let me remind y'all that Melania, the first lady, a model, and when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell level, applied for and was given an EB1 visa. And what's that stands for is an Einstein visa. Now, y'all that don't know, let me tell you how you receive an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having other sustained extraordinary abilities and success in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Last time I checked, the First Lady had none of those accolades under her belt. It doesn't take an Einstein to see that the math ain't mathin'.
I think about Melania promoting that Memo coin, which by the way has now lost nearly 98% of its value. I think about Melania selling American themed bracelet, charging hundreds of dollars from them as if they were symbol of patriotism. You know, it's really makes you wonder how tacky can you be, even if she is not directly selling this. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Meanwhile, the federal government completely failed Texas during the flash floods. Their response could have been handled so much better. And now they are trying to act like they did a great job. Then you have Melania and Donald Trump showing up and posting things like this. It just feels out of touch. And then she posts Forever Love hashtag. This bracelet will always hold a scared place in my heart, a quiet, shining thread connecting me to the young souls now watching over us from heaven. Each charm carries the weight of their memory, the warmth of their presence, and symbolizes their enduring love. My status is forever tied to the joy we shared and the latter we will always remember. Look, I get it. The intention behind remembering those young girls is meaningful, and my heart truly goes out to every family who lost someone. It was unspeakable tragedy, but we need more than charm bracelet and emotion post. We need real action. Meanwhile, Donald Trump goes around saying you are evil for asking what went wrong. Christine Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, claimed the federal response in Texas was perfect and wants to repeat the model elsewhere. Just stop. That's not leadership. I am done with the thoughts and prayer and symbolic tricks. The government needs to actually function, protect people before disasters strike, and own up to its failure when it does not. That's how we move forward. Anyway, that's much deeper dive into Melania's story than most people ever hear. Let me know your thoughts. And yes, she is now publicly reminiscing about meeting Trump at Kit Kat Club while he was there with another woman.